Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now, this is a general reading for those born under the sign of the rat. This is my second month of doing the Chinese Zodiac readings. Sorry they're a bit later than I intended, but you know, work. So, being a general reading rules apply. Timing's not absolute. If someone else appears in the reading, then I may end up talking about them and when I think I'm talking about you and vice versa, mainly because the cards don't come with name tags, but I can't see anybody in this reading. There's links down below for a birth chart, for the Facebook page for this channel where I post my videos plus astrologers videos, well worth a look. Other readers as well sometimes, and all the details about the reading are below. But what I would like to ask you to do is ask a question like I do in my Western Zodiac monthlies. So take a moment, think about all the questions that are around you, focus on one of them. Be aware of all of them because cards will answer what they want, but focus on one of them. It adds energy to the process. And that's pretty much it for my waffle. Other housekeeping, I do ever so often some daily solar degree readings, you know, for what degree the sun is in, and look at the symbols for that degree and throw some cards as well. I've also done recently a Healing the Divide reading to see, do we really want to unite? And who is it we want to unite with? Which ended up being very interesting. But nonetheless, let me bring the cards up. Now, Rat, what I remember from last month's reading, or your first reading from me, was that the world wasn't ready for your idea. And we start here with the Nine of Wands, which is indicating to me that, yeah, nearly there, not quite there yet. Not quite there yet because there is opposition coming. This is hexagram 38, which is fire above lake. Fire rises and water sinks, so never the twain shall meet, and therefore there can be opposition coming up. So you're nearly there, but I do think that you need to reevaluate how you are going to do whatever your big project is. Whatever your question is, it's not going to work out quite the way that you were intending. We start with angel number 99 as well. So you're nearly there. You're nearly at the point of wish fulfillment. And something is coming in that looks like it could be wish fulfillment. And it may well be. But remember the warning in the previous reading that the first time something comes along, it's not the right one. And as I say, you're not quite there yet. It's like you need to get your message out to the world yet. And the world's got its back to you here. It's not listening. But you're heading towards a better place. Six of Swords here. But that is something that is giving you no shortage of amount of anxiety in the process. But you've got to focus in on yourself here. You've got to have some we've got to have some form of rest and respite where you are totally looking after yourself, and that in itself is going to give the momentum. I'm not sure momentum's the right, the springboard to set off to what you wanted to do. Because look, we have Six of Swords here, Six of Wands here. I'm not going to say angel number because they're not really close enough to one another or on a similar line, but a better place and victory. But the victory only comes through change, clarified by the Death here. And right in the centre of the reading, time to learn. So whatever it is that you are hoping to do or hoping to accomplish, there's more learning yet. And you are advised that in order to protect what is yours, in order to really see the growth, you have to return to the point of, almost to a point of childhood. There is a lot of guidance around for you at the moment. We have Four of Cups on the bottom of the big deck. But it's almost like what this first column is telling me is the time for planning is over. You need to move forward. But once you start moving forward, and as you are learning, as you are working towards bringing this harvest around, because under the influence of hexagram 38, it says not a great deal can be accomplished. But that's only true when you are doing something in opposition to somebody, when someone is standing in your way. But I do feel that you haven't got your message out yet, and therefore you haven't encountered the opposition yet, which is a good thing. That opposition is coming, but with the research that you are doing and the learning that you are doing, you can find a way to bring that victory into being. But it's not a time for planning, it's a time for doing. But it's not a time for doing big things. So I'm thinking like contingency plans, making sure everything is exactly how you need it to be once you start moving on whatever this is. And the fact that you're going to end up doing it in somewhere completely different to what you was expecting is a scary thought, but hey ho, it's a scary thought, get on with it. You know, I'd love to be more sympathetic. I do feel like you're being primed to take a leap into the unknown, fall to the Magician card from the In-Between Tarot here. But you're taking that leap into the unknown while mourning what you've lost by not doing it where you initially intended on doing it, if that makes sense. Now, that is not a bad thing. There's so much motion here. I mean, this Nine of Wands, it's a nearly there card. It's the Wounded Warrior card. But I often, certainly in this massive, what I call my massive tarot, I don't see it just as a 9. I see it as an 8 and an ace. The 8 is the movement. The ace, again, movement. But it's directed movement, directed towards that wish fulfillment. But I do want to say, in order for you to get that wish fulfillment, there's a lot more that you need to learn just yet. And that's easy enough done. This is information that is easy enough accessed or figured out. But most of it will only become apparent once you start doing that groundwork, doing that basic setting things up ready. Right, so let me have a read of hexagram 38. So fire rises towards heaven while the lake flows downwards into deepness. There is no common sphere in which they can meet. When people have fundamental differences that cannot be compromised, opposition is inevitable. Small things may be accomplished with care, but expect no great success in any great endeavour so long as the players remain the same. That's really interesting, isn't it? So you are being called here to move with this Six of Swords and this leap into the unknown so that the players are not the same, even though that means that you feel like you are losing something, but you have victory through change. Small things, like I said, it's not a time for plan, it is a time for doing, but not necessarily doing anything big. If you are, this is a sort of period where if you was having the launch night for the product, whatever the product may be, or a product I should say, then you've got the venue booked, you've got them, all those banner things on the slidey, you know, like when you have a conference or a jobs fair that suddenly arrives in a room in a university or something, and you've got those unfurlable banners that are on stands, and you got all them. You've got all your extension cables and your internet access, and everything's pack tested, and all of those preparatory jobs are stuff that can be got out of the way with. And as you are slowly going through these preparatory jobs, you will find the invitation to learn more, the invitation of how to do it slightly differently, how to add this or subtract that. And that is what is going to be bringing the harvest around. And it all seems like phantasms and illusions that it's even yet going to happen. But this is a time for you laying the groundwork while the world is not concentrating on you, because once you start with this, I feel that there is opposition, but you need to be sure that you are creating your own kingdom here. And on the bottom of the other deck, we have the King to the Page of Swords. Now, that to me is, I immediately think it's about reviewing information and reviewing about what contacts, friends, allies, employees, contractors, whatever, are suitable for what you are trying to do. And you may be revising all of them, but let's have a quick look on here. Old knowledge with fresh eyes is what it says in here. That's interesting, isn't it, in the light of what I was saying? So, but yeah, there is certainly that element of testing who your allies are on this, who your friends are on this, who your fellow workers are, employees are, contractors are, all those sort of things. Because there will be that opposition coming up. The Celestial I Ching, Celestial Dragon I Ching, calls this this hexagram the Stranger. People are strange when you're a stranger. Now, if you've got the song going through your head now, good, because so have I. Everything seems so different. Everything is the opposite of ourselves. Feelings of disconnection may arise. This is a time of waiting in which we do not possess the power to accomplish great things. However, know that the stranger is protected from above and will be able to find sustenance in small things. So you are protected, you are on a good path here. Remember, 2 9s very much indicate a sense of rebirth, especially with one of those 9s being the 9 of Cups, so that wish fulfillment energy coming through. Instead of reaching out to people who would label him strange, the wise man cultivates his difference and opens his eyes to see those of a similar temperament gather around him. So, whatever it is that you're up to, Rat, you may find that you're going to be up to it with different people to what you actually expected. Now, I also pulled a verse from the Tao Te Ching, of course. So, we have verse number 80, without moving. I haven't read this yet. A small country with a limited population ensures that even though people may have many valuables, they do not need to use them. The ruler lets the people consider death as a serious matter, so that they will not wish to leave their homes. Though they have ships and carriages, they will not use them, and though they have soldiers and arms, there is no need to deploy them. The ruler lets the people return to the time of knotting ropes to record information. They will find pleasure in their tasteless food. They will find beauty in their simple clothes. They will find peace in their small houses. They will enjoy their own customs. They can see their neighbouring country. They can even hear the sounds of each other's roosters and dogs. They will grow old and die, but remain content never to go to the neighbouring country. What to me that is talking about is this opposition that you are going to face. Right now, no need to face it. You aren't ready. You've got to do the background work. You've got to do the groundwork, the foundation work, whatever you want to call it. Because if you try and get your message out right now, the world ain't listening. Simple as that. The world ain't listening. We're nearly there, but we're not there yet. But this is a time for you to build the foundations of your own empire. So, yeah, that's everything. That's everything that I see. So if this means anything to you, comment down below. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more of this stuff, and tell me what you'd like to see. All right, cheers.